Hi, I'm Kristen Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? And here we are back with the fantastic Adam Scott. We are going to recap Season 3, Episode 1, Where There's Smoke, written and directed by Michael Patrick King. So here I am, and this is what we've decided to do, because, I mean, you guys recap on your show, on your podcast about your show, but you also play the scenes, right? But we don't do that, right? Okay. So what I'd like to do is I talk about the characters through line rather than like bopping around to the different. Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah.
So the thing that I love about this, first of all, do you know Slattery?
Yes.
Isn't he fantastic?
And he's so good on Sex and the City. He's
right?
So that's one of his superpowers, I think, is when you watch Slattery, you're just so at ease as an audience member.
Absolutely.
He's got this.
I mean,
you don't have to.
It's incredible. He only doesn't even have any hardly lines.
I know.
Like, it's crazy.
He's such a presence. And it's hard to believe that was even written. It feels like it's coming. He's just great.
Right?
He's great.
I know. He's so incredible.
And you want them to be together.
I know. You want them to be together until the thing happens.
It's great. Until the thing happens. Which is also the next episode.
I think it's coming because I haven't seen it yet. Seen it yet. But also, I asked him to be on the pod and he said no. And sometimes I'm like, why did they say no? And then I forget what the guys had to do. Like, sometimes they had to do kind of ick things.
Right.
Maybe they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And then like different co-stars who have come on, guest stars, tell us like, oh yes, now I'm still asked about it. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's the story was about the women, and think about all the dumb stuff women had to do over the years as.
Thank you, Adam.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Like, come on.
Yes, I do.
We can take a few for the team.
Thank you so much.
Right?
Thank you so much. I think it's weird in that I think for them, and I think at the time we were somewhat aware that it was odd for them to come in that guest star way of like the boyfriend, because as women, we were very used to being the guest star girlfriend, right? But they were not so used to being the guest star boyfriend. So
it was emasculating for them
Possibly.
to do that? Huh.
I mean, I've never used that word to them. I've just said, was it weird or uncomfortable? And they were like, yeah, kind of, yeah. And the thing I was going to say that reminded me when I watched this, and I remember this time, very well, because it was when things really were like clicking and happening. And, that first week was so hard, and we were on the Staten Island Ferry. And I remember all of us are like, oh my God, we're on the Staten Island Ferry. And we had to keep turning it around so that the background would match,
right.
So that the city would match.
You're going on the way back.
Remember how we're talking about, like, look at how small it looks. Right. That was really fun. But when we're going and we're talking about, like, look at how small the island is and it has all of our ex-boyfriends on it. Yeah. And so we had to keep turning the ferry around, and the ferry's huge.
Yeah, it takes forever.
People were throwing up over the side. You know what I mean? Like,
so you get seasick on the ferry?
I don't, but other people did.
You do? Oh, wow.
Because you don't normally turn it around.
Yeah, you're not on it for that long.
Right. It is too big to keep circling back or whatever, like how we had to do it. And that was an all-nighter, I mean, so bad, till the sun came up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And luckily, I just had to act crazy for that other one. Yeah. But I don't really remember that as well. It's funny because I think as an actor, like, you have to check out a little bit when you're going to act all crazy like that. But it's adorable to watch. I do remember being cold because we would go back in February, but still have to probably be wearing our little dresses.
Freezing.
Right. But at least in this one, we get to talk about it.
Yes. That's
and
right.
And I literally am like, I'm so cold, which I probably just begged them, please let me say it, because I've got to hold on to Sarah Jessica. I'm freezing. We're on the water in February, for God's sake, But it was fun times. But the thing that I think, so when I look at, in terms of, let's talk about Charlotte for a second, this is when they had sat me down and said, this is when we want Charlotte to really decide that she wants to get married this year. And she's going to do whatever it takes. And she's going to be like a heat-seeking missile, and soon I'm going to get the book. Like, I have a book that's going to talk about how to get married or whatever, like craziness, right?
Because is it in the next episode where you're like, where is he?
It's
like,
this one. It's this one.
Okay.
It's this one. Yeah, which is great, which is a great scene. Yeah. And so I was all down for it because I knew, that culturally women are like this. Women are fed this thing, about, getting married and having the perfect.
And you only have this one window.
Exactly. And all of that, I don't personally didn't feel then, but I certainly knew a lot of people did. And I felt like this is great. And I also knew that it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
But the original plan was that Charlotte was going to be like, on it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at it like a job. I'm going to, all these crazy things I'd say, and they'd all roll their eyes at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it was going to work. And the idea was that I was going to find this guy. This before we knew it was Kyle. I was going to find this guy. And Trey.
Yeah.
Good. And I was going to find him and he was going to look perfect, right? So everything was going to look perfect. Yeah. But then everyone was going to think he was the most boring thing ever.
Yeah.
Like when one of your friends marries somebody and you don't really love them.
Yes.
And like the other friends are like, you go talk to them.
Yeah.
It was going to be like that.
Yeah.
But then it was Kyle.
Yeah.
And Kyle is just
not
too
boring.
damn interesting.
Yeah.
So then we all collectively fell in love with Kyle, and he stayed longer than he was ever supposed to stay. Do you know what I mean? But we still had to let him go.
So was the impotence thing a replacement for the boring thing?
I think it was. I'd have to ask Michael Patrick that, but I think so. I know. Who would have seen that coming?
Because you can build the perfect life around it, and the impotence thing could be a secret,
right?
Which it ends up being,
right?
And so, but Charlotte is so dedicated to this idea that, and all appearances were her dream come true.
Right.
But there's this corruption at the middle of it.
Right.
You can't there's nothing to be done about it.
Right.
And then them getting back together, and does it go into season 4? Is
you know
that
what?
all
I don't even
3?
know. I mean, because that's what I was going to say too. I only watched these back in the day when we were making them.
You're seeing them for the first time?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I don't remember.
Whoa.
And sometimes I remember everything, right?
It's weird. I when someone see Parks and Rec, and I do not remember filming that. And it's a very weird feeling.
Isn't it weird? Like sometimes I'm like, what am I about to do?
Yeah.
Am I going to make out with these people?
Right.
Like one time I thought I was going to have a threesome.
Person.
Right. Yeah. You're like, oh my God. Am I going to? And then no, it was a dream. I didn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't remember having a threesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was very scary. But I mean, there's some things I remember crystal clear.
Yes.
Like you'll remember that day or what was happening off camera or whatever. But when we start this episode, I see that I'm wearing a cross. So I also think that Michael Patrick and Darren already planned that the first marriage wasn't going to work out, and then I was going to fall in love with the Jewish guy and convert. Because I had never worn a cross before, but I remember they started pushing these crosses on me. I have a diamond cross coming. I'm wearing like a old fashioned looking cross at the beginning of this episode. Like they already knew, but I don't think I knew that whole part. Or if I did, I kind of was just more focused on the Kyle of it all, once that came.
Because Harry's definitely not till season 4 or 5, right?
I feel like, I mean, I also feel like in my mind, I know we kept Kyle longer than we were supposed to, but I don't know that we kept him all that long. And I think this season we do like 21 or something, like in the olden days. You know what I mean?
Wild. So many episodes.
Right. So many. Like I'm sure you guys did that on Parks and Rec too.
Yeah, 22.
Crazy. Right?
It's crazy.
It's crazy to think
about.
And
we shoot them in 5 days.
Right, which is also insane.
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 Well, I did a show, Party Down. We shot 4 days.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, like all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did you have kids yet?
They were brand new kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy town, isn't it?
It was crazy town. Yeah, it's hard.
But it was in LA at least.
It was in LA.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Right. Thank God. Oh my God. I know. All right. Let's recap.
Yeah.
It's always so hard, especially when I have someone like yourself, when I can just talk about all kind of things. Okay. So this is what's great about this episode is that Carrie is heartbroken because Big has gotten engaged to Natasha.
Yes.
And she doesn't necessarily want to date. And then she comes across Slattery on Staten Island of all places. And I mean, who could say no to Slattery? My God. But he has to pursue her hardcore.
And he's a politician. Can I just say this episode has, it has season premiere vibes, which is great.
Yeah.
It's just so... It's like a reset.
Yeah.
The dancing, everything. It feels...
Everyone has good shit.
Yeah. It's
I mean, Samantha.
Firing on all cylinders.
Samantha in that firehouse. Great. I had forgotten.
Great.
I had 100% forgotten about that. And also, and I'm off track because I was going to talk about Carrie, but let's talk about Samantha for a second. Because when we go to that Staten Island bar, which I do think we literally went to Staten Island, though I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I did have to go to Staten Island to do riding lessons for this season 2 finale when I ride my horse in Central Park, which was my first time to Staten Island. And I was like, what planet have I landed on? I have
I've never been to Staten Island.
It's crazy, Adam. You got to go.
It's just a different
I mean,
world.
I think it's totally different than the rest of Manhattan. But also they have horses and stuff. Like who knew? Like trees and horses and whatnot. But so I do think we were either in like lower Manhattan. Sometimes we would go to Dumbo. Like when she goes.
It's right across the bridge.
Exactly. Yeah. I think she was in Dumbo with the ferry because maybe we couldn't shoot in Staten Island. And I later on for this past show rented an Airbnb in Dumbo thinking that it was going to be like the old Dumbo. And then I was like,
oh,
what Disneyland?
It's like Beverly Hills.
I mean, it's
now.
crazy.
It's wild. Yeah.
Like with like, Instagram picture ops and whatever.
That's
I remember like warehouse
sweet green
Dumbo.
everywhere.
Exactly. Literally every corner has a sweet green. It's quite different. But we were somewhere with those firemen taking off their shirts, and I feel like they might have been real firemen. I need to check. But then like Samantha goes and talks to the one that she thinks looks the best, and he is so funny. Do you remember?
He's really funny. He's super dumb. And really good at being.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, he's
I
really
laughed
funny.
out loud. I had to rewind and laugh again. Like he just keeps talking, and she doesn't want him to talk.
And she's like, "Shut up!" Just
Hysterically funny.
She's so funny, and hats off to her doing that. Firehouse stuff too. Like,
I had forgotten. It was
amazing,
incredible, and I had not remembered it. And when she goes to the firehouse, which also like what on earth, And then the voiceover says like, then Samantha realized because we do bring up. I love the whole rescue theme, and this is when Charlotte, Charlotte goes out dancing, realizes I guess for the first time that she's a catch, which is hysterical, right? Yeah. And Carrie's like, yes, darling, yes. Yeah. And then the next morning we're hungover. Everyone's hungover, but I'm particularly hungover. And I get to film that scene that then we played at every award show. And I got to hear everybody laugh where I say like, I've been dating since I was 15. Yeah. Where is he? My hair hurts, which was so great.
So great.
Quintessentially Charlotte. And when I die, they can just show that. It'll be fine. You know what I mean?
There's so much more too. Though,
there is, but I mean, that would be fine.
It's a great scene.
It's like when things work, you're just like, thank God, right? So that worked really well. But everybody's got like, and at that coffee shop scene, that's one of my favorite coffee shop scenes.
Yeah.
Because
the hungover coffee.
The hungover, and then we're talking about firemen and why does everyone like firemen? Yeah. And this is pre 9/11.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of amazing, right?
That's right.
And we're talking about the hero and like just the look in their eyes that they will save you.
And it's so interesting that once you guys all sort of land on that, everyone stops talking for a minute and just kind of absorbs this reality that you've all stumbled upon. And you're just like, shit.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And then Slattery does rescue her, then she rescues him.
Absolutely.
But also Charlotte's dance is really iconic too.
Yes.
It's so sweet.
Thank you.
And she's just having a moment of pure happiness.
Right. Which is nice.
Self-generated.
Right. And also
she's not depending on but not depending on the attention of a man or anything.
No, that's true.
She is having her own happiness in that moment.
That's so true. That's so true. Because earlier I've screwed my face all up into a weird thing and said like, there's no dateable men here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so Charlotte-y judgy. But then she sets herself free and has a funny dance to like a weird song. I remember when Michael Patrick, I was thinking it would be something that we knew, that I would have to lip sync.
I don't remember
It's a very strange song that I still don't even remember because I remember I had to like study it. Like what the heck?
Maybe it was cheap.
I think it was cheap. Yeah. I think that was totally it. And I was like, couldn't we do something else? And he's like, no, you have to do this one.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Because there was an expensive song earlier in the episode. Maybe
right. I think that's right. That's right. I mean, expensive for the time, right?
Yes,
exactly. So, and I remember that at that time, because also Sarah Jessica does a little dance. And the camera's above us. Yeah. We would get a choreographer. Because we were so nervous about any dancing. If they said the word dance, the choreographer would be called. Do you know what I mean? Just to hold our hands.
I get it.
It's hard.
And it's embarrassing in front of everybody.
Totally. You got to free yourself up somehow. And if you know some steps or
and
like
you're
an
not
idea.
actually drunk. So you have to
pretend that. Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely pretending that as well. We never drank real drinks, no matter other people did on other sets, I guess. I've been finding out through this podcast.
I feel like I think that would be terrible because then 3 hours later you're going to be like feeling like and
definitely
hungover and you have to work another 9 hours.
And you're going to have to do other scenes where you're not drunk. I don't even understand how that works.
Neither.
Yeah, I'm sober also, so that would be a problem. Yeah. But I didn't have to do that. So it was all good. But it was always fun for Charlotte to play drunk, to be drunk because she would be free, which was so nice. Yeah. So we all have this moment, which I think the entire scene of the, do women just want to be rescued? I think is an incredible theme and holds up still.
And a great way to launch the season too.
Absolutely a great way to launch the season, and still we could do a new show now about that.
Totally. Totally.
Like, do women still want to be rescued?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they do.
Well, everything in the show is evergreen, don't you think?
I do.
Everything you guys are.
I do. I mean, every once in a while, there'll be something where we say something weird, like do you know Danny Futterman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he played the metrosexual.
Yeah.
And that was a word.
He's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
It was a word that didn't survive, right? Like we're past that.
I remember that. I remember
moved past that. Yes. So sometimes there's something like that.
Sure, there's little cultural things.
Right. But like the bigger themes, I think are 100% still true.
I think even in that case, the fact that these 4 women come to that conclusion is still interesting.
Absolutely.
And still resonant. That's where they land, and all 4 of them at the same time are like, okay. In 2001 or 2000.
Yeah. I know. I love it. But I think it's great because it is still something that, I mean, I guess it's specific now to everybody, right? Like, do they want to be rescued or don't they? I mean, I didn't want to be rescued at the time, but I certainly knew that I was supposed to want to be rescued.
Right. Which also gets a reaction, Yeah.
So my reaction was like, no, I will not be rescued. I will be super independent.
Yeah.
Get away from me. Don't open that door. You know what I mean?
Well, you can still be independent and still want that feeling, even if you don't, even if that feeling doesn't preclude you from carrying on with your life. Maybe I don't know.
I do think that's true. I mean, I did eventually go out with someone who used to say to me, like, could you just relax with the independence a little bit? He was Australian, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. And I'd be like, what do you mean? And he'd be like, well, like, for instance, just let me order. And I'd be like, okay. All
right.
I'll try, You know what I mean?
Go for it.
Like, you could give it up. You know what I mean? I could give up. I didn't need to have it. You know what I'm saying? But you have to, I think I had to prove to myself that I could be independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
And therefore you are.
Exactly. And I mean, I was then too, but then I could also just let him have the power if he needed to have the power, if that made him feel good.
Sure.
And it made me feel good. And then one time I got sick and he was there and I let him take care of me. And I remember that was a big thing.
Step?
Big step. And he was very good at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's nice.
And was it a nice feeling to have someone?
It was a good feeling.
Yeah.
It would have been because we were on location and he just happened to be visiting. And if he hadn't been there, I would have just gutted it out by myself. Like, I wouldn't have called anybody because I wouldn't have wanted to worry anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're on location, you don't want to scare everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because I had the weekend off, but I was like, I would have just holed up in that little hotel room by myself. Yeah. So it was nice. It's sometimes nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Let someone, even if it's for their sake, to let them feel like they are
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think, and that's why it was and still is, and whenever I do play Charlotte, still interesting, is that she wanted all these things, but then is also super, super capable, right?
Yes.
But still thought she wanted the fantasy.
Yes.
And then has to let go of elements of the fantasy, but still found the good guy.
That's right.
But then like if you ever are on a plane and watch and just like that, you will see like Charlotte runs that family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah. It's great.
But don't you think Harry also...
He's powerful.
But he also, one of the things he loves about her, at least in Sex and the City when they meet, and then the movies as well, is that he does love that she's independent and she can take care of herself.
Definitely.
And he doesn't think she needs him to rescue her.
Definitely.
At all.
Definitely. They have a very good partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he respects her from the start.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, the thing that catches her off guard and, is so attractive, right? Yeah. Like the kind of deep respect. And also he's just such a good human being.
Yeah.
Which is what's
But also
incredible.
Doesn't really take any of her shit.
No, he doesn't. That's a good point. And I mean, I haven't gotten to rewatch that part yet. And I feel like I'm really going to discover a lot when I do. Do you know what I mean?
But when okay.
Yeah. Because, sometimes when I rewatch, I'm like, wow, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like see all these subtleties, because you're in it.
It's super interesting because it's super interesting when they meet. It's great.
Yeah. Evan's great.
I love you two together. It's so fun.
Thank you. I mean, we lucked out with him.
Yeah,
we lucked out with him.
He's so great.
I know. I'm going to have to keep rewatching, but I have to ask you this question because I'm dying to know. One of the reasons that I think about Evan and I think about how lucky we are is that part was written for another actor that Michael saw doing a play off Broadway. And then it became between that actor and Evan. And Evan, we used to get to read with the people who were in the finalists for our main guys, right? Not Kyle. Kyle, Michael met at a picnic and just told me it's going to be a Kyle MacLachlan. I was like, okay. I mean, what are you going to say, right?
Yeah.
But Evan came in this audition with props, and he took this big muffin out and just ate it and talked with like the crumbs coming out of his mouth, right? Like super confident. Yeah. And I remember seeing, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, in the lead up to the Emmys, that Brit's audition tape. Did you see that it like got out?
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? So interesting.
I mean, I think they put it out.
They did on purpose. Got it.
Because
it was so incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah. She sent that in and it was an incredible tape and then came in and we read together.
Got it.
And she was great. But yeah, that
and
tape
he
is
showed
fantastic.
You the tape because this is in the self-tape era.
Yes, we had seen the tape. Got it. It was great. But I hadn't seen it when she came in to read. I hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
But I knew Brit from before.
Oh, good.
And when she walked in, I was like, oh my God, yeah, of course, Brit.
Right.
And I knew immediately, was like, that's her.
And she's so perfect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Like when you see that self-tape, I mean, it's
all
perfection.
There. It's all
Everything
there.
is there. Yeah. And that's a hard scene.
Not easy.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So impressive. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. I'm always curious about when they release those things, like how does it happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we had those. I don't think we do.
This is so great. Should put it out.
Yeah, cool. I totally agree. All right. Samantha's in that firehouse. So I had forgotten that she goes to the literal firehouse and thinks it's going to have some like sex fantasy and all those dudes are there just staring at her.
And they're not all like hunky.
No, they're not all hunky, of course. And then she's like, why are all the outfits here on the floor? You know, which is really funny. He's like, come for a fire. And then, of course, the bell goes off. And then she before that, when she gets in his or whatever, she looks so incredibly cute.
Yes.
Like it's so fantastic. But then that fireman really yells at her, like,
he's
get
like,
out.
Get the f out of here.
Yeah,
It was like
oh
crazy.
My God. It's so good. And then she's standing there by herself in the firehouse with no clothes. Very brave.
Yeah.
Very brave on her part. And really incredibly good. Like you're right. Every single storyline is so good. And
it's such a compact amount of time.
Yeah, Michael Patrick wrote and directed.
Amazing.
That's him at he's like all cylinders firing.
Yep.
So then we've got Miranda, who is, struggling. I've related to this so much, talking about independence. She's got to go have her LASIK. And she doesn't want to call a friend. I've been in this place so many times. I'm like, I won't need a friend.
Right.
Well, you have a wife, right? But do you still try? Not to.
Well, I remember in my single days, just like moving by myself.
Exactly.
Like I don't want anyone to help me.
Right. I don't need help. I don't need help. And then you're like, oh my God, my back is killing me.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And like Miranda is so adorable. Like she wakes up from LASIK and they've told her every different way that she needs a friend. And she wants Carrie. She doesn't want Steve. And David tries his little sweet self. Yeah. And then she wakes up and it's all blurry and she sees him there. And then it's nice.
He's so sweet.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he so good?
The best. David Eigenberg. Yeah.
He's incredible.
And I love that she writes those big notes for herself.
Through the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, which is the same Chinese restaurant she orders from the whole series.
It's a through line.
Yeah.
It's a very important through line.
It's like her favorite place.
I know. And that's the other thing rewatching where I really respect the writers so much. Like the details.
Totally.
But on the other hand, I would also say there are sometimes inconsistencies, which in the olden days, pre-social media, we were allowed to get away with.
Of course.
And now we are not.
Well, one thing that you notice is that when you guys go to restaurants on the show, often it's the exact same menu. Have you noticed that?
Yes. It's our prop people are like, get out the restaurant menu.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's because we are at a real restaurant that we are going to use as the real restaurant for one scene in one episode, but we would cross board, we'd shoot two at once, right?
Right.
And so then in the back, we would have asked for like a back room, and we've dressed it differently to be like an innocuous restaurant. So we can use that restaurant twice and get away with it. But yes, little details like that I do sometimes see. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's the, like, it's got like onion soup or whatever on it. Like it's got like funny things.
I see stuff like that and love it.
So do I. So do I. As actors, I mean, because we understand why, you know what I mean? But like you guys on Severance could never get away with any.
No, but one thing I do notice too is when people look down for their marks. But whenever I point it out, my wife is like, what? What are you talking
an actor
about?
thing that
oh
we
my
look
God,
at.
it's
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But I remember like when I first was guest starring or whatever, I mean, the panic about your mark.
It's terrifying.
And if you have to do-si-do.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the olden days.
Oh, yeah. Or if you're doing a long walk and talk and you have to land on a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this was our show, The Walk and Talk. I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Like,
and you're out in the wild,
in the wild with the strangers yelling at us and whatnot.
But
you know
can
what I mean?
feel it too in these great scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
absolutely.
you're trying
No,
to...
it's okay. I want to recap, but I mean, also, I just like to talk.
Yeah, I like talking to you.
Okay, Miranda's storyline. I mean, I think we did the important part. The important part is that it's adorable. And then when she does wake up and she sees Steve and she puts her hand in his hand.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's the
very
sweetest.
Yeah, when she wakes up and takes the goggles off.
And she can see clearly.
Yeah.
And then she sees him
and
clearly.
There he is.
It's incredible. It's so good.
I love those two.
I do too. And I did not appreciate him at the time. I've said this already.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that I didn't think he was great or whatever. I think I liked when we were all single somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand how incredibly good he was and how opposite they were and complimentary and how good the writing was.
Yeah. And she certainly fights it.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
When you love someone, you love them.
Absolutely.
And,
even if they aren't what you pictured. And even if you didn't even think you wanted to get married and whatever. And if you want to be a partner at your law firm more than you want to get married.
That's right.
All the different things.
And he embarrasses her and he makes dumb jokes. And she's like, God, fights it every step of the way.
Every step of the way. And she's just so good. They're both
so good.
So good.
Yeah,
I know.
Cynthia Nixon, man. That's
I know, right?
Powerhouse, yeah.
Let's continue on the Carrie of it all. And then we kind of did it.
Because she doesn't want to date this guy, but he's so charming.
I mean, who could say no?
I love that he shows up with her voter registration filled out.
Is that not the cutest thing?
So
and also,
cool.
can you believe she didn't vote?
I know.
Has such resonance.
But it's a really interesting character thing for Carrie. It's like, it's just
and also her devotion to shoes in this particular episode. My God, this is leading up to that she's in debt. This is when I think they're really thinking about
when they get to her borrowing money from you.
Exactly. Wanting my ring.
Yeah.
To pay off her shoe debt.
Which is, because that's after Trey.
Right. So they're really at this point, I think they've got their writer's room together before the show and they're really planning.
And then also, is it post split up with Trey that you're walking and Cynthia follows you?
Oh yeah. No, I'm still with Trey because that's when I really know that I can't have a baby. Remember when he gets that paper baby out, that poster baby?
Not a great move.
I know.
Not a great move.
I know. And I
thought it would just be a little chuckle. Or whatever he says.
I know. That's when he's really annoying.
Oh, boy.
But he's still him.
You walking home and the voihaover saying
it's good.
She knew if she would turn around. That's like
I know. It was good. It was really good. It was really good. I look back on those storylines. I haven't watched it again yet, right? But I look back on them. And I think in some ways I was a little young. Like all my friends hadn't started going through that yet. Do you know what I mean? Like there was a time maybe like 5 years after that where like all my friends are going through IVF.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody and it's hell. You know what I mean? We hadn't really known people yet so much who had done that. And I wonder if I did it justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
It's
Thank
so
you, Adam.
good.
Thank you, Adam.
It's so good. Not just that, but also it's Charlotte is going through so much because there's the infertility, but then there's the marriage falling apart. And she has to redefine herself.
Yeah.
She knows she can't do this.
Right.
She knows she can't stay with this guy.
Right.
And it takes a while for her to actually come to terms with that and make the move.
Right.
She can't do it.
No. It's hard.
It's because hard. You had everything and Bunny and because the apartment, the money, it's just like impossible.
All of it.
But also that scene with Miranda following Charlotte home, it's also a little micro moment of what the show really earns and builds, which is these 4 women are bulletproof. When they're together, right. They'll do anything for each other.
Chosen family.
Oh, dude.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. That I think is the legacy, in so many ways. I mean, there's so many different elements of the legacy. One is the talking freely about sex, of course, but like the women being together, not being pitted against each other ever at all, which is shocking for a TV show at the time, which is so bizarre, right?
Yeah.
But I'd come from Melrose Place where like that's all you ever were pitted against the other women, like soap opera-ish, right? But the fact that we were chosen family and that we were there for all of it and that we were the, ride or dies or however you want to talk about it. And I do feel like culturally now that's much more celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
I think with men as well, which I feel like men are like a little behind with the, male friendship being celebrated or whatever, Like it's important.
Yeah, it's incredibly important.
Right?
Yeah. And that was all, you're right, that was a huge part of it too. There were so many firsts with the show.
Yeah.
And it's all just so valuable.
You're so sweet to be such a fan.
I love it. And you're incredible.
Adam.
Yes.
Are you a Charlotte?
That's a good question.
Any answer is acceptable.
I feel like I'm a Miranda.
Wow. Really?
I think so.
That's interesting.
I think so.
In what way?
I think that Miranda is, I don't like putting any of them in boxes because I think they're all like whole human beings.
Yes,
that's one of the superpowers of the show is they all are lots of different things.
Yes, thank you.
So, but I think that the sort of resistance of Miranda and the sort of isolation of Miranda that she kind of thought was her ethos and then eventually discovered was not.
Right.
I kind of connected to that.
Okay. Wow. Wouldn't have seen that coming.
Yeah. Yeah. But but then I also connect with Charlotte on things and Carrie and Samantha.
What? Really?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I think that they're all.
That's adorable.
I think they're all. You can find entry points with all of them.
Definitely. For sure. And that and over time, some people tell me like, well, when I first started, I was a Carrie. And then I kind of went through my Charlotte phase and now I'm divorced and I'm in my Samantha phase. And I'm like, that's cool.
That's great.
It's all good. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, I would have always said, and I think this is still true. I have to rethink it, but I'm like kind of Charlotte, kind of Carrie. You know what I mean?
That's
like
really interesting. It's so interesting just to hear kind of where you were when you were shooting the show and how different you are from Charlotte.
In some ways so different. Also, I've adopted children. So, some big similarities, but I did it on camera first.
Yeah.
Which is
that's
weird.
So interesting.
I know, weird, right? But I think Michael Patrick knew that I had that in my mind as a possibility. You know what I'm saying? I would have to ask him. I don't know what came first, like us talking about it or... You know what I mean? I don't know. Know. It's all very interesting.
That's great.
I know, but it's fun. But you're just so sweet that I had no idea that you had really rewatched 3 times. You're like way ahead of me.
Oh yeah. And because you had me watch this episode, now, like I said this morning, I kept watching a few episodes. It's just hard to not continue watching.
Which is so nice.
So good.
I feel that way about Parks and Rec.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Adam, you're incredible.
You're so nice to have me just as a fan. This is really terrific. So thank you for having me.
It's a joy for me.
Oh,
it's a joy for me.
Thanks for having me.